Hello, welcome to Nuggets for Wisdom again. We're happy that you're joining us again on this fourth key of a happy relationship.
Yep.
I hope you've enjoyed watching and sharing the last three keys that we've shared with you. We're praying and hoping that it will be a blessing to you, to your family, to your friends, and to your loved one. So today we're talking about key number 4. And this is what we call third parties in relationship.
So, first of all, what's a third party? Who is a third party? Or what is a third party? Because I was thinking it might not just be people, it could be things as well.
Yeah, no. I know,
So-
because I know that some people, from my experience, some people have even said in their relationship is the phone.
Yeah.
It's social media.
Yeah.
So it could be, like you said, you're right. It might not just be people. It might not
So-
be your in-laws.
So who's a third party?
So
Just
like
generally, if we were to define a third party.
anything or anyone that is outside your relationship, or that is not both of you.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking
So
about
the two of you are both parties. Are the two parties.
yes.
So the third party is anyone or anything outside your relationship that can influence your relationship.
That can influence it. Yeah, I think we need to make that clear. That can influence your relationship.
And it's so important to know that the uniqueness of the relationship you have, it's so unique that it's just both of you. Without both of you, there are no children, there's nothing else around you. As close as your children, as everything is, it's still both of you that is. And I think it's so important that we can see that it's so important that our relationship needs to be more important than anything else.
Yeah.
And that gives me an example. You know, I remember in school when we're taught how to plant different crops, and you plant a crop, and the first thing you
They
do is
teach
you put
you
it.
farming in school.
Yeah, you teach. Yeah, and they.
Where is this?
Yeah,
Did they teach you farming?
when we do agricultural science, and one of the things they do is that they teach you to have a little nursery where you can nurture whatever you're doing, and the idea is that you now go ahead and transplant what you've done, because first of all, you need a good environment for what you have to grow. And what that is saying is that you need a nursery, like you do when you take your children to school. You take them to the nursery first, and then nursery is usually secluded from everybody else.
Yeah.
They have their own playground. Now, it's the same thing with our marriage. Our marriage needs to have a place of nursery where it's just both of us. Now, why do we need that? Why do children need a separation from other kids when they're in nursery? Because they're very tender. They're not very strong. They don't want other children to hurt them. Apart from that, it's a learning time. So many things can hurt them. So they want to protect them. So I think, isn't it the same thing that we need to protect our marriage when it's in its early stage from third parties?
Yeah, so like we always say that your marriage is weaker than all the other relationships that you have. All the other things that have influenced your life. No matter how old you are, how young you are, there's some things that have influenced your life until now. So we're saying because of that, it's important to shield and protect your marriage, because those things have more influence, they have more power, they have the ability, no matter how loving and protected they have the ability to railroad your marriage, not because they want to. And sincerely, I don't think any in-law, any friend will want to ruin your marriage, but because of the strength that they have, we need to, like my husband was just saying, we need to find a way of treating our marriages like babies. Babies need attention. Babies need to be taken care of.
And even if we switch it over and you go beyond babies, there are still times where you need to know that this relationship is stronger than my marriage. I need to take care of my marriage so that it's strong enough to handle it. Like you said, it's a loving relationship. It's your best friend. Some people, their best friends are threats to their relationship. Some people, their moms, their dads are threats to the relationship because of the influence they are having, not necessarily negative. For instance, if between you and I, every time I have an idea, the first person I relate that idea to is my brother, my sister, or my best friend, then that robs us of the ability to gel together and know how to grow together and handle difficult situations together. If every time I have a problem, I'm running to someone, instead of us discussing together, even if we don't succeed, at least we started something.
And we're not saying don't get help. And we're not saying don't talk to your parents. We're not saying don't have friends. But we're saying allow your marriage to grow. Allow your relationship to have a uniqueness. Allow friendship to grow. The only way you can allow it to grow is what my husband has described, creating an environment. Because if you don't, it will never grow. Yeah, so that's what we're saying in this. We're saying it's important. One of the keys to a happy relationship is keeping your marriage unique to both of you, because you are actually unique. No matter when children come, we've got children in our marriage. When children come, they will grow up and they will go, just like we've left our parents.
But we can't cling on to them at the expense of our relationship.
And I'll give you an example of us when our children were young. One of the things that we practice doing is taking them to bed early.
Because they will take all your time if you don't do that.
So taking them to bed early so that we can spend some time together. Now, we know they need a lot of attention, and we cannot but give them this attention.
Okay,
but what we're saying is...
Let me ask you a question. Somebody says, I have a friend, and my good friend, we've been friends since primary school. We do everything together. We're just wonderful together. So are you saying that I can't spend a lot of time with my friend again?
No, I'm not saying you can't spend time with your friend, but I'm saying you cannot spend time at the expense of a relationship. Actually, I advise people that come to us for counseling that they need time away with their friends, they need time away with other people. They need to have a balanced and healthy life.
I like the one, not at the expense.
Yeah, so the issue we're talking about here is whatever the relationship is, let it not be at the expense of you growing and maturing. Have a sense of balance in essence, so that people can...
I'm thinking of something, sometimes you have unresolved issues.
Yeah.
And instead of resolving it, the quick thing to do is you want to jump in the car and go out with your friends. So it's kind of an escapade kind of a thing where you, instead of dealing with issues in your relationship, you get yourself busy with everybody else so that you're not dealing with what you have to deal with.
Well, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because the thing is, sometimes when you're in an environment that it's kind of like, people describe it like that, you feel like trapped and choked. You kind of need to focus on
But you still need to come back.
No, but the idea, what we're saying is not that you don't find a way to to breathe again, because trust me, there are people that are in relationships that they spend it.
Okay, that's another extreme, isn't it?
So what I'm saying is, there's
nothing... don't go anywhere.
Yeah, because there's some people that are saying, why are you going out with your friends? That's not what we're saying. We're not talking about control. We're not talking about you can't do anything else. We're saying give your relationship time to grow. Give your relationship the right environment, a nursery where there's nothing choking it, that it can grow. So from your example, from what you've said to me, if you have an unresolved issue, some people feel like the best way to think is clear their head and go out. And I don't really see the balance, anything of it. The point
I'm thinking of something else.
The point is dealing with it.
Before our time runs out. Well, I'm thinking of something else. What of a situation where, look at this example. I'm not very good with third parties. You're very good with as in you have a lot more relationship outside of us. And if we're not careful, I might become selfish and tell you, look, you're going out and you have too many connections outside, and you might be on the extreme and pushing me out when I don't want to. But it's so important that we know that even though there are differences in personalities, it's about creating that balance and making sure that you put your relationship first in whatever you do.
No, we kind of need to create a balance, because, but like we're always saying to you here, it's about nuggets. Some of these topics, it takes ages to discuss and to digest. But we are hoping that the little nugget we give you, that God will give you wisdom on how to create an environment for your relationship, so that third parties, whoever they are, however loving they are, third parties could be things, it could be social media, it could be your phone, wherever it is, create an environment where you know that if you want a happy relationship, if you want to grow, there is a way you create an environment for that weak marriage or relationship that you've just formed or you're growing in
to get stronger.
So Thank you for watching again. I hope you go back and watch the other keys to a happy relationship. And I hope you will share, you will subscribe. God bless you. See you next time.
Bye.